morning, Sneeple. Today is Monday, which means it's Market Monday. It has been a crazy last week. We had new heroes get spoiled, we had the Pro Tour, we had the calling out the Pro Tour. There's just been a lot of stuff going on. First, let's have a quick look at these three new heroes: Illusionist, Ninja, and Assassin. We know those cards are going to start to move. But then we saw the Pro Tour happen, and Dromai won. It is a handful of points away from LLing, so that is crazy. Good thing we got another Illusionist on the way. We also saw Warriors did very well this weekend in the Pro Tour and the calling, with Dorinthia making a couple of the top 8s at the Pro Tour, and then Kasai doing the same for the calling and winning the calling. Other than the news, let's just get straight into this. Ninja! Let's start off with Tiger Swipe. This card went from $1.30 all the way up to $7.19. That's a 453% increase. That is huge. We know Crouching Tigers are coming in hot in the upcoming new set. We know there's gonna be some utilization with that Zen hero. So people are speculating that it might be time to grow some claws and start swiping away. Ancestral Harmony. This card went from $4.01 all the way up to $16.50. That's a 311% increase. Another huge jump. This is one of those expansion cards in heavy hitters. We saw this card come out, it rose a little bit, then dropped back down a little. But with the new news, it is making some more headway. We've also seen Katsu had a good showing over this last weekend, so there's a lot of promise for this. Roar of the Tiger. This card went from $2.19 up to $11.50. That's a 284% increase. One of those cards that it stayed pretty cheap for the longest time, and it just took something to make it pretty valuable. We'll have to see if these cards will hold their value, see how well this will play into the new set. Assassin, Surgical Extraction. This card went from $11 all the way up to $16. That's a 45% increase. Infiltrate. This card went from $1.89 up to $4.56. It's a 141% increase. Just another good Majestic that is Assassin that's making its way up. That's what we know. Concealed Blade. I know this card is Assassin or Ninja, but we're throwing it in the Assassin category. This card went from $5.50 up to $11.99. That's a 118% increase. Already dead. This card went from $31 up to $44.98. That's a 45% increase. It's an expansion card. We've seen this spike before. This has maintained a pretty high price point over this last couple months. We'll have to see where this lands and how playable it is in the new decks. Leave No Witnesses. This card went from $9.76, now it's up to $13. That's a 33% increase. A great Majestic for Assassin. You play that with Codex of Frailty, you get that back from the yard, they put something in, you threaten their arsenal. Super powerful, super good card. Illusionist, Phantom Tide Bomb. This card went from $8.95 up to $16.95. That's an 89% increase. Personally, out of the new heroes coming out, the Illusionist is the one I am most excited for. Lost in thought. This card went from $3.25 up to $5.80. That's a 78% increase. I saw this on stream a few times during this weekend at the Pro Tour. It was a pretty sweet card. Just a good Illusionist card to have in your back pocket if you need to get rid of some things. Generic Tenacity. This card went from $3.99 all the way up to $5.44. That's a 36% increase. Tenacity, yeah. Hold the line. This card went from $12.37 up to $16.85. That's a 36% increase. More and more, we're seeing how useful this card can be, especially if they're drawing cards. Ripple Away. This card went from $1.99 up to $2.99. That's gonna be a 50% increase. Mechanologist. Ethos Steel Soul Controller. Soul Controller to cut it short. This card went from $14.49 up to $19.99. 38% increase. Mechs are just pretty sweet. Alright, briefly, I want to go over Marvel Crouching Tiger, or a scribbly line, because for some reason I just kept going. But I saw some sold at $60. Two of them sold at $60 on TCG Player, which is wild. I remember when these were not $60, so these have gotten fairly expensive. Currently, I think they're sitting around $55 on TCG Player, but I just want to make sure you're aware that these Crouching Tiger Marvels are getting expensive. So if you have a couple lying around, they're in your binder, just make sure you're aware of their price. That's what I wanted to tell you. I want to give a quick shout out to our patrons: Blaine, Simone, Steven, Philippe, Logan the Guardian, Matthew, Horpon, Brandon, Johnny, Jonathan, and Maxime. Thank you guys so much for being patrons. It does mean the world to me and Eric. It helps us out a lot. And that concludes this Market Monday. I know I was sick last week, so I do apologize for there being a little bit of a time gap between the last one. You know, sickness does happen. But not a whole lot really happened that week that I was sick. This week though has been jam-packed. I'm really happy we were able to go over this together. I'm sure with all this Pro Tour news, it's gonna spike some more things. So next week we'll have a lot more to look forward to as well. And then just with the new set coming out, there's gonna be so many like little spoilers here and there, which are gonna change things. So make sure you stay tuned and you're here every Monday. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.